because less than 3% of you people read books. Listen to me. Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We'll tell you anything you want to hear. We lie like hell. We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. You're beginning to believe the illusions. This is mass madness, you maniac. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion.
Welcome to episode number 3. We are ready to get into these topics that we have today. I am Troy.
Yep, my name is Beef.
And this is Drummer.
So how's everybody week gone so far? Everybody been all right?
What's going on out there? Somebody holler at us. Who out there? I see we got 3 people so far.
Yeah, 4 people now. That's good. We'd like to thank you guys for joining us, and also thank those that are going to be on the replay. You can replay this here on Facebook or on YouTube. We've got some great topics that we want to get into today. And we just want to say thank you. Everybody extend a hand. You know how they do in the church? Extend a hand to Drummer and his wife, because we talked about COVID last week, and he may have symptoms. So he's in quarantine. So we're gonna look out for Drummer. So you guys ready to get into first subject matter?
Let's do it.
What do you have to say about marriage? Marriage is beautiful, and marriage you have to just together, and you have to work together. And marriage, anytime you have an argument, and you can just go to sleep with it. You gotta apologize. It's easy to say sorry.
Hey, we got Sheena out there and London.
Yep, joining in on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you guys for joining in. Family always supporting. That's a good thing to see. Make sure you guys comment so we get your comments up. Drummer will put a link in our Facebook page. He sent it out to several people. If you'd like to get on the show and talk about marriage, because marriage is it's a very touchy subject, and we can have fun with it, but we could also learn from each other. So make sure you hit the green room link and make sure you're lit properly so we can get you on the show. We really want to hear from everybody. Exactly. I guess, let me see. I've been married for 20 years. Sharif, how long have you been married?
I've been married for 20 years. Going on 25 years. Going on 25 years. I know my wife won't get me.
You in trouble.
25 years.
You in trouble because she's right there.
And I've been together for 30. For 30 years total.
Okay, 30 years. And drummer's what we call a newlywed.
I'm going on 5.
Going on 5.
Y'all did it. Y'all did it when y'all was in y'all 20s. I was 49.
Yeah, so there's a lot when you're going into marriage at 49. You got, you develop your communication skills. You've got your own life going on. I mean, getting married at a young age, like you said, Drummer. Sometimes communication is the top priority. Isn't that what you were talking about when we were talking about earlier?
Communication. Yes.
Explain that. Explain that to us.
That communication. Everybody don't like to communicate though. So you might have one person that's a communicator. In my situation, I'm the communicator. People that know me know I sometimes fly out the mouth and say stuff, and I'll be like, what? That wasn't nothing. To me, it wasn't nothing, but to somebody else, it's something. So I had to learn how to communicate, You know, sometimes you got to just learn how to shut the fuck up. Excuse me, Mom. You got to learn how to shut the fuck up and just be quiet and go in the other room. So I'm still learning that. Y'all already know that.
Yeah, you got to be quiet sometimes.
That's why you in the room with the curtains up, because you in there like,
shh. Oh. Telling my secrets, man.
Well, you done already told my damn secret.
So we got Breon Haywood, been married for 22 years and 1 month. Congratulations. We got Sean.
My Aunt Shaw been married for 28 years.
Her
and Dice.
Congratulations.
Man, that's a long time.
Yeah, that marriage is a hard thing, and we talked about this earlier. Is that you know, in a relationship, marriage. What you got, drummer?
I'm laughing at somebody said I sure do, drummer. So I think they meaning that I fly off the handle. Oh yeah. I do. My wife's. I just say stuff sometimes. My wife is watching now, so she can.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, I gotta learn how to. You know, sometimes I could use some duct tape. Put some duct tape on my mouth. And sometimes I'm sorry. But anyway, we got Jackie Lee Reed. She been married. Hold on, Jackie. Go ahead and type in here how long you been married. We got 22 for Breon Haywood.
Yep, 28 for Sean.
28 for Sean. I think Jackie been married for 20-something years too. 27, 28.
That's good. And again, like the subject matter is marriage and those people being
29. Jackie been married for 29 years. Jackie.
Congratulations. Hey. So we got a good mixture of men and women here. And we were talking earlier when it comes to communication and talking, you know, when you're talking with your spouse, men think different than women. We were talking about that, and they kind of put things in compartments. So we think in like little square boxes, one thing at a time, just one thing at a time. And what did I say? Women think like boiled noodles in a pot. Everything is just all together. And they're mothers. So they have the mothering instinct and they're able to multitask. We want to do one thing at a time, get it right and get it done. Whereas women really, they can do a lot of things at one time. So sometimes that communication, when I was talking about when I talked to my wife, and she's telling a story, I'm looking for the bottom line or the solution immediately, right? I don't care what kind of heels this person had on. I don't care how they open the door. I'm like, get to the point. And sometimes you gotta just sit back, let your wife tell the story, and listen.
Hey, now listen, before we go too far, my cousin, Justin Jaden, 24 years this past Sunday. I think he's from Detroit. He lives in Detroit. Also, a true boss lady is my people over at Slider Burger Joint. Best burgers you ever tasted in Fairburn, Georgia. Best burgers ever. We also got Larry Steele.
And you know.
Oh, Larry Steele said my wife worries the crap out of me at the wrong time. Now,
Larry Steele. Hold on, drummer. Larry Steele is he's the DJ up at 1380 The Cat. So he's a real good friend of mine. We're trying to get him on here. He's a pastor too. But he has some real good. Him and his wife go back and forth. It's hilarious. It's really hilarious. Marche would like to hear what Sharif has to say about it.
Sharif, Marche, what you got to say?
I'm down to men humping and right. You know they think about food, right? And there's some times where you like dang, I'm hungry. I don't know what I want to eat. But when you go out and you grab something, it was times that I came home with the Subway, right? And I got some Subway for me and my wife. Wow. When I get home, my wife said, I got something for you, right? And I'm like, what you give me? Right? She said, I got you some Subway. I said, I bought some Subway too. So sometimes we got the same mindset.
You and your wife are different from my wife. I could say, what do you want? You know what she says to me? I don't know. What do you want?
Well, yeah.
And then she. Oh, my wife says, "Well, I want. It don't matter to me. I'll eat anything." I say, "Okay." Then I'll come up with something. She say, "I don't want that." Well, why did you ask me then? We go through this and we laugh over this all the time. Oh, I got something else. Let's say I got this. I might put this in the most peculiar place. I might put it on top of the refrigerator in the garage. But that's where I want it. She moves it. Now I'm walking around the house looking for it for 2 hours to 2 days. Babe, did you see where my little knife went? Oh, yeah, I moved it because I thought, leave it alone. She laughing too. Look at her.
Yep, that shit.
Leave it alone. I don't care. That's what I tell her. If it ain't setting the house on fire, leave it there.
Man, yes, marriage again it's a beautiful thing, but it's also very difficult. We talked about it earlier because we usually go over our topics, and one thing that it's human nature. It's human nature to kind of self-preserve. So when you get into a marriage, you got to love somebody more than you love yourself. And sometimes we get really selfish in those modes. They usually say happy wife, happy life. I think it's happy spouse, happy house.
Yes.
So can we agree? Can we agree upon that? Can we agree upon that? So let's everybody
look at your cuz. Your cuz said I lost 2 hammers and a measuring tape and like 6 screwdrivers in the last 3 months. Your wife then moved it. Your wife moved it. Ask your wife where it's at.
Another thing that's good is about a wife, like times that I get off work, right? I might be up that day or something, and then when I come home and stuff, and you got somebody home with you with your wife, and she will automatically know, like, you have a good day, right? And I'm like, I don't want to talk about it and stuff, but I'll talk about it, boom. But when you have a best friend, that's what you call a wife, your best friend, and a husband is your best friend, and she will find a way to say things to make me feel better, and then the same way when I do for her, too, same way.
We got Daryl Spain in here, said it's a daily challenge, and he said, wait a minute, put what on a t-shirt? Don't touch it. Oh, what you said, Troy. That's a good one, Troy.
Happy spouse, happy house. That's a good idea. We might have to give some proceeds to Daryl Spain for that idea. So look for that, Daryl.
That's going to be on our site along with these. Hey, pull up the hat. Show them the hat.
Oh, yeah. We got the hats in. We got the hats in. Make sure you go to troyeverett.net and purchase your Idiotbox TV merchandise. We'll have other merchandise coming up. I was supposed to send these out to my boys, but man, I just became a grandfather for the second time, and everything's been hectic there. And I'll send those out. So we'll have those on, displaying those for our next episode.
Who we got else in here? Rhea Gilmore. Happy spouse, happy house.
See, we got people agreeing. We got people agreeing.
We also got, is that Ida? EYEDA. It looks like it's Ida. Coming off of YouTube as well. Ashley Hill, which is also the owner of the Slider Burger joint out here in Fairburn. Oh, she went to a whole nother site.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you guys
from YouTube
why don't you
and
tell
Facebook.
them about? Why don't you tell them how to get on into the green room, drummer? Explain that.
Well, I did send out. Send out the link.
Okay.
But I don't know if the link is click. See if you can click on the link. I see it, but it don't look like it's clickable. You see it on there?
If you go to
that is Ida.
If you go to our Idiotbox, if you go to Idiotbox TV, Facebook, the link is on there. If you'd like to join the show, we'd really like to hear from people on these subject matters. That's what this whole platform is about. Is not just 2 dudes or 3 dudes talking about, their lives. We want to hear from you guys. We want to invite you on the show. Want a public discourse. So if you'd like to join, go ahead and pop on.
Join in. We do need somebody to come on in and get on a video and talk to us. But anyway, Ashley Hill, she said men love to be happy too. Happy husband, happy wife. Man, now that's what let's give her a hand. I ain't never heard no woman say that. It's always happy wife, happy life. Come on, Ashley. Ashley, me and Nicole going to have to come up there so you and her can have some private chat. Y'all need to talk. Matter of fact, we got your number. I'm gonna have her call you.
Yeah, she agrees. She agrees. Anybody else out there agree with happy spouse, happy house? Yeah,
happy
we might.
That's a good shirt.
Yeah, it might have to be a shirt.
Quit saying it. Mom's gonna steal it. Quit talking about it. Okay, we got some more people out there that want to talk on this whole marriage situation here. Troy, what you I know you got some more stuff to say. Don't be trying to sit up here and
yeah, I mean marriage is probably one of the most difficult thing for me is one of the most difficult and challenging things other than being a father. Again, that's because you got two people, two personalities trying to come together as one. And some of us are some of you women are very, very independent. Very independent.
Man, that's so, we might use this whole show to talk now if you talk about women. Woo,
yeah, so there's a lot of women out there are very independent. And then when you have men that are alpha males, but you also have alpha females. And when you do have that, so we got Mick Bounty in the green room. We'll get to you in just a sec.
Right.
But when you do have that, sometimes you guys can be very stubborn and clash heads. I know that happens on my end with me and my wife because we're both very opinionated. And sometimes you got to agree to disagree. And sometimes it's difficult, very difficult, because everybody thinks they're right sometimes, and nobody's right all the time. But men more than likely are going to be wrong more.
Yeah, in whose eyes? In the woman's eyes. Look, sometimes look. This is no lie. Sometimes I know I'm right, and I still made me feel like I was wrong. I'm looking around like.
Okay, we're gonna get ready to bring
bring them on in.
Mick Bounty in. Make sure you're well lit because we've got
yes, we do.
We've got a audience that is hearing impaired and they have to be able to read your lips.
Yes. Okay, we got Julianne Hartnett. We got Julianne Hartnett that said the framework of marriage is God plus compromise and remaining humble at
compromise. Compromise.
No. Oh, dang. What did I say?
That's why we call it Idiotbox TV.
When you over 50 words don't when you over 50 words don't look the same no more. Okay?
Yeah,
under 50, y'all both under 50, y'all don't understand.
And another thing is good too is pray together.
Yeah, pray together. That's very important.
When I say if I leave and go to work, and my wife to put the black oil on me and put light on me, and we pray and then we leave the house. I leave the house to go to work and stuff.
Try clicking on that link that I'm posting, everybody, to see if it'll get you into the green room. That's the green room link.
Yeah, the green room link is right there. You can type it in, or again, go to the Facebook, Idiotbox TV Facebook, and click on that link.
Okay, Sharif, there's Lala. Cousin Lala says sometimes it's not about who's right or who's wrong. It's about if you're feeling heard during the expression of your thought and opinions. I agree with that, Lala.
Okay. So we're gonna bring on Mick Bounty and Dice to finish out this subject matter.
Yeah, what's up?
Peace, fam.
Dice.
Yo, peace.
Oh, that's Armin.
Peace. What's
that's
good?
Armin.
Peace.
What's going on, Armin? Hey, long time no see, Armin.
I forgot all y'all know Armin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Armin.
Yeah.
So Armin, are you married?
No,
I'm not married.
Armin, not married. Dice, you're married. Give us some insight.
Very married. I'm very married. What would y'all like to know? I'm very married.
He said very married. What does that mean? Hold on, wait.
Yeah, that would be my t-shirt. Very married.
Oh my goodness.
So how long have you been
married? 29 years.
29. 29. How'd you make it 29 years? What's the key to success?
I'm gonna tell you the key. It's simple. That your house has different rooms in it.
And I'm in one of them right now, my man cave.
That's the key. That's the simplest form to keeping a marriage happy is that y'all can go into other rooms and ponder what the bigger picture is before y'all come back together.
Being there like.
So Armin,
Yeah.
why is it that you are not married yet, Armin?
Hey, make Armin bigger so Sharif can read his lips.
I'm not married. I'm not married by choice.
Okay.
And I think that's basically it. I think marriage is a great thing for the people who want. I just came in for support.
Oh man, but we appreciate it. Yeah, we really appreciate it. Yeah, we don't mind the support.
So, you know.
Well, Armin, we really.
But yeah, why did y'all ask me why I'm not married?
Yeah, because
we want to know why. We all married.
Know why. We might have made a mistake.
We want you to keep it real. Don't be coming with that. Oh, by choice. I don't want to hear that.
I think something wrong. I think something wrong with y'all.
See, here we go.
Being married.
There we go.
I don't think you need to be married. I don't think you need to be married to actually have that partnership and to be able to like have a mutual love. I mean, I feel that when the marriage doesn't go well, from what I've seen, it seems like the way that the institution is set up, it seems like men take we get it bad. So like I'm straight on all that personally.
You don't want everything taken.
Well,
hey,
yeah, I don't think that. I think it needs to be. I think it needs to be recalibrated. Whatever this institution of marriage is, I think it needs to be recalibrated to. It needs to be recalibrated to where there's some type of like there should be like some type of arbitrator to be able to like look at the situational awareness behind some shit. Yeah, there should be. There should definitely be an arbitrator.
You need a referee.
Hell the fuck yeah, man.
With striped shirt on. Yeah. I need old boy, the best one in the NBA.
Man,
that's what I need. Listen. With a whistle too. Foul.
Well, I can tell you.
There should be an arbitrator.
I was gonna say, I can tell you.
Like Alexa, look, we should automate marriage. Marriage should be automated with like an Alexa or some shit to be able to kind of like regulate your shit. Be like,
well, I can tell you.
Okay, now that's. I'm quiet. I'm gonna listen.
I can tell you that if it's Alexa or Siri, you're gonna be outnumbered every time, bro. So ain't gonna be no fair arbitration. If you got two women against you every time, so you gonna lose.
Every time you gonna lose.
So you might want to create a male version of whatever you speaking about to have a chance.
Well, I don't know about nobody else. Go ahead, Dice.
I was gonna say, as much as that appears to be neutral, it is not. If you have already started with Alexa or Siri, it's done for you.
I done grew up with women, and I still don't ain't getting it right.
We got Mika in the green room. If she could turn her camera on, get your camera on, we'd like to hear a woman's perspective because we got,
who is it?
There's a lot of testosterone. Mika.
Well, I'm gonna tell you straight up, even as you bringing her in, I'm gonna really tell you the true key to it. The true key is to it finding one that fits you.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you how I really lasted is the fact that I don't have to be anybody else for her. Who I am is exactly what she was looking for. And who she is exactly who I was looking for. Like, she didn't come into it trying to change me. And I didn't come into it trying to change her. Every change that was made was by choice. And it was to improve ourselves for each other and for our family. So I think it has to be a maturity about your selection process going into it, period. It can't just be physical. Oh, she fly. Oh, she got green eyes. Oh, she strapped. Like, it can't be that. If you go in like that, once that start fading, so is the relationship. So it's got to be more substance to your choices before you even take it to that choice, because what you have to give up really and truly is your resistance. That's what you have to give up. When you get married, I'd say the number one thing you have to learn how to do is lower your force field.
Yep.
So you got to trust who you with to be able to trust that they're going to cherish your heart, man. Like, we don't get to talk emotion as men. So, we take it all on the chest, we take it on the shoulders. But if we can't open that part up, we can't ever get to our crown anyway. And if she can't be trusted with it, that's going to be a failure. So I would just say, fill it out before you even move that direction, because it's just got to be a maturity involved with your choices.
Okay,
That's my truth.
Queen, we got Queen. That's a good truth. Queen Praise said, "Hi, Armin." Maria Owens Wooten said, "That's 100." She was probably talking about you. Grant Rowdy, and you definitely can't always be right. That's true. That's true. Jackie Lee Reed said, "Preach, say it." She's been married for 29 years, just like you. So,
all right,
y'all can dig it.
Yeah,
Queen Praise.
Thanks for coming on, Armin. We appreciate your support.
Yeah, Armin, good looking.
We do.
Next time,
peace to you and the family, man.
Next time we'll have a comment or a subject matter that won't be marriage, because
wait a minute, we've been on this subject. We about to run this through the whole show. I think it's time we got to go to the next one.
Okay, let's go to the next one
before I say something and get in trouble. Even though I'm not gonna be in trouble, but still. Okay, so the next one we own is loyalty still important. Loyalty, not just loyalty with your wife, your brother, your sister, friends, loyalty to a job, a team, just straight up loyalty.
Yeah.
Go on, Troy. What you got to say about the old loyalty subject?
Well, it's hard to find loyalty in this day and age here in this society. I think it's just been we live in a microwave society now. Everybody wants it now, wants it quick, and they want it their way. And some of the stuff, you just can't have it your way all the time. And that goes with friendships. There's got, like the young lady said, there's got to be compromise. There's got to be compromise and loyalty. If you're loyal to something, man, you got to stay true to it to the end. And we were talking earlier about, give you an example. The example would be LeBron James, right? LeBron James. Back in the day when we were growing up, and I'm sounding like an old man, but we knew if we were going to watch a basketball game, we were going to watch Detroit Pistons. We know Dumars was going to be there. Vinny was, the microwave was going to be there. The Worm. We knew that core team was going to stay together and be there for each other to win the championship, because that's what they want to do. They were loyal to the fans. They were loyal to the organization. And the same thing with the Lakers. You knew you were going to have Magic. You knew you were going to have Worthy. You knew you were going to have Green. You knew they were going to be there every year. So that built up fan loyalty.
Right.
Even today, you don't have that. You got people jumping from one team to the next team. It's very rare that you see that. And I just think that's part of the microwave society that we live in right now, is that loyalty is not, it's not on the top of everybody's priority where it should be. So what do you think, Sharif?
I think loyalty is very hard to find sometimes, because there are there's a lot of people out here that's not loyalty. But if I me myself, I'm loyalty. If I was being around my friends and my family, if I say I'm going to do something for them, I just do something for them without them paying me or whatever, But I don't expect you to do stuff for me all the time, But at the same time, but if you do something for me, and I feel like I have to do more for you too, So it's like you both work together with it. Help each other. For family or friends. Those are important. It's hard to find these days. It's hard to find these days. So if you got old friends that were loyalty and they split up or whatever, and you still got friends that can still make up. Still have time to make up. But now that's just the way it is. But
a prime example is that 4 men you see here. I've known Sharif since junior high school. Known Dice since high school. Known drummer for over 27, 28 years, almost 30 years. Yeah. So even though we live in different places, when we said we were going to do this, we all did it together. Dice found out about it and he jumped right on. He's been here supporting us ever since. So loyalty is very important, especially in our community. We were talking earlier about loyalty, and we're just talking about different types of people, like the Jews, for example. Let's take the Jews, for example. They are so loyal to their families and friends that you very see a crack in their structures when it comes to the Jewish community and how the Jewish community really sticks together. And I think a lot of people could take a page out of that book and really understand what loyalty is about. What do you think, Dice?
Well, I feel like loyalty and respect are kind of a hand-in-hand thing because it's a reciprocal thing. It's a reciprocating thing. I think when you can maintain loyalty with somebody and they maintain it with you, it's easy. I think when there's apprehension, betrayal, things like that, these are learned behaviors. Society is basically, we've learned how to become whack examples.
Right.
I think a family structure, just being born into something, kind of breeds loyalty. You know what I'm saying? I think it's literally a birthright. I think it's embedded in our actual genetic coding that there's a loyal aspect of us that's just innately in there. I think that society as a whole and behaviors that come along from a hybrid society, it tends to sway our thinking. And then rather than even being rational in our thinking, we become imbalanced where we're more emotional than rational. And I think when you don't have a balance in that, it can skew your perception of a lot of things.
Perception of loyalty, right?
Yeah.
And let me jump in.
Let me jump in
here real quick because I got to read what people are saying.
Yeah, so we got some really good comments, drummer.
Queen praise. Dice always got something good to say. I've been around Dice for 30 years. Quality. Queen praise.
They're on the screen. They're on the screen.
What?
They're on the screen. Justin Jaden. It's on the screen.
Yeah, I'm reading. I'm trying to. If you be quiet. Queen praise says loyalty is essential. Julianne Hardnett. I'm heavy on loyalty, but it's hard to find in most relationships. That's my cousin Justin Jaden. He said, even in this age of narcissism, people these days aren't even loyal to themselves. Boom.
Wow. Exactly.
Boom. Boom. Also, my cousin Lala. But do we stay blindly loyal? Looks like 2 people at institutions that are no longer supporting our long-term goals or our overall mental health. No, Lala, that's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a real good one.
That's a good one. That's exactly what I was speaking to. When you have something where it's not reciprocal, it doesn't make sense to, be loyal to something that's hell bent on destroying you. Why would you be loyal to that? That's where you have to be sensible. But yeah,
right.
It's gonna be different degrees at different points of your life because when we were younger, it was easy to be loyal to what you saw every day.
Right.
Then as your experiences grew and your scope widened, some of the things that you did every day young, you can't even do it the same way anymore because your time is being applied to something different.
Right.
The degree of knowledge that you have about something. Yeah.
Troy, read what Art Ryan had to say.
Unfortunately, loyalty isn't a virtue that is celebrated any longer. That is so true. That's a very good perception of that. It's hard for most people to be either centered enough to allow that to happen. That's very good. we got. Let's bring
Correct.
some young bucks in here and hear what he has to say. We have Grant. Grant's back.
Grant's back,
Oh,
y'all.
okay. There you go, nephew. What's good, nephew?
What's going on? What's going on?
Before Grant starts, let's not forget what the last comment by my mother, Deborah Jones. You must have self-loyalty. Be true to yourself. Take time to connect with yourself.
Very good. Very good information. Thanks,
That's a
Mom.
great one, Mom. What's up, Grant? Where you at?
That's my big sis. Great minds thinking like big sis.
Go and blow Grant up, Troy, so we can see Grant. He got some good light this time. And he got in there. What you got them Dre beats in? Look at it. Oh, you got the little marble chair.
All right.
Yeah,
so what do you think about
I had to get right because y'all come on here every week and y'all, everybody looking nice, everybody looking right, sound is looking good. You know what I mean? Camera quality is good. You got good lighting, so I had to come with it this time.
So what's up on the loyalty, Grant? What you feel about the loyalty subject?
Well, I heard what you were saying earlier about that LeBron analogy, and
he's a LeBron fan, y'all. He's a LeBron
big
fan,
time.
y'all. Watch out.
Big time. That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT for sure. But I feel like, and it pertains to loyalty. I don't think it is celebrated as much.
Wait a minute. He's the GOAT. Go to another team. That's what he is. He the GOAT. G-O to another team. He the GOAT.
So wait. Let me just ask you one question. I'm gonna get to my point. So is Tom Brady not the GOAT because he went to Tampa Bay?
Okay, let me give you this whole thing. I feel it's my opinion. There is no GOAT in no sport. We got too many great players. You're the GOAT of your time when you played. Tom Brady is the GOAT of when he played. During LeBron's time, he is the
loyalty.
GOAT.
Let's get to loyalty.
Okay, my bad.
Well, what I was saying on loyalty is I'm more so on the side of like looking out for you, your core values, your family, if you're follow a specific religion and things like that. And so that's kind of what I look at loyalty as. And so, like, for instance, like in your workplace, if you have certain beliefs and like wherever you work at isn't aligned with those beliefs, it doesn't make you not loyal because of the fact that you decide that, this place no longer represents what I stand for, or, it no longer recognizes, my core values as a person. I feel like that's more important than trying to, kind of just go along with it to say, I'm going to stay with this company or this whatever for this X amount of time just to say that I stay here. Because, at the end of the day, if they're not being loyal to you, what's the point?
No.
It's not being reciprocated at all.
Exactly.
That makes a great point. That's a really good point. But you go back to like religion. You said something about religion and religious beliefs, or just moral beliefs, right? Moral fabric of of society is kind of withering because loyalty should be on the top of everybody's list, from Fortune 500 companies, to the grandmas, to the mas, the aunts, the uncles, friends. Loyalty is huge, and we just don't see that anymore. And it's like I forgot who said it, but it's hard to find. Who is that? Miss Harnett said it was hard to find in most relationships. That's business relationships. That's personal relationships. That could be even brand relationships.
Right.
Well, I feel like also too, you got to kind of think about at the same time, like, for instance, like if it's a brand or, a Fortune 500 company or a restaurant, like, ultimately, if you're doing what's best for you, then, as a brand or as a company that cares about you as an employee or whatever the case may be, loyalty goes both ways. So them being loyal to you should also have in mind, okay, well, we're going to go with what's best for this person. And instead of, let's go with what's best for us, just making it about, just one side of it, and kind of, having it, mutual type of thing. Because, like back to what I was saying, if they're not looking out for you, then what's the point of looking out for them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that's why some of the it's reciprocal. Like, for example, let's use Chick-fil-A for example, right? Chick-fil-A has some of the best customer service, but they also take care of their people. They close on Sunday. They got a core principle.
Exactly.
They got core principles that they stick by, even though the rest of these restaurants would not dare close on Sunday, right? So that's a real form of loyalty when it comes to their brand, their customer base, and the people that they have working for them.
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A.
I think appreciation is the seeding aspect of loyalty. I think when there's a level of appreciation from both sides, loyalty will bred and it'll maintain itself. I think when the level of appreciation drops off, that dips into the respect aspect where you feel unappreciated, you feel slightly disrespected. And I
Right.
think that will sway your loyalty.
Correct.
Yeah. So even in the definition of loyalty, it says faithfulness to commitments and obligations. Those obligations could be
Boom.
work, could be family, could be, it could be anything. So yeah. Who we got here? Sherry. Hey, Sherry.
No, that's Cherie. Let me read these.
Oh,
What we
Cherie.
got?
Okay. What you got there?
Let me see. I told people thanks for joining. We sure appreciate it. Some people are agreeing with what y'all saying. Shelly Woodward. Hey, cuz. That's your cousin, Troy?
Nope. Not my cousin.
Maybe she's my cousin. I'm still meeting cousins. Hey, cuz. I see y'all good discussions. And Tom Brady is not the GOAT.
I would agree 1,000%.
That's fair.
No,
that's fair.
Sean, Danny's wife said
he
facts. We also got Maria Owens Wooten. That's Grant's mom. Most people are out for self though, so loyalty is nowhere in the equation. Good one. Let me see. Oh, we still got more. Let me see. We got Art Ryan. Our society has shifted to a "what's in it for me" society. Loyalty is tough. Loyalty is tough. What happened when all you think about is yourself?
That is true.
Oh, so London said that Shelly Woodward is Sharif's cousin. Ashley Hill from the Slider Burger joint here in Fairburn said they're closed on Sunday too. Black-owned Slider Burger joint, black-owned business there in Fairburn, Georgia. And she said they're closed on Sunday. Personally, I think Chick-fil-A has gotten away with having mediocre food. They need to step up their food game. To me, that's her opinion. So we're accepting that.
That's
now,
business beef. That sound like business.
They do.
I agree with her when it comes to, they're not the best chicken sandwiches in the world, but the customer service is immaculate. And I think that's why a lot of people go back. If I go to
who got the best chicken?
Chick-fil-A.
Or Chick-fil-A.
I don't think it's necessarily the best. I think they just are very, very consistent with their quality of food and their customer service.
They are. Let me tell you something. I could pull up in that line and it's around the corner and I'm going to be in that line for 10 minutes. No longer. It's like this. And one thing is the reason why is because when you order your food, you don't got to go all the way to the window to get your food. Your food going to come up.
They bringing it to you in the line.
You can pull out in the line and go about your business.
Yeah.
So now I want to get on this loyalty thing because I have a different thing about, my same thing is the same about loyalty. But I grew up, I'm loyal to wherever I live. If you live on my block, I'm going to put your trash can away. I'm going to do all kind of stuff. I'm the best neighbor you could ever have. I'm telling you. And I'm loyal to who I deal with. I'm watching everything in my neighborhood. So I'm loyal to anybody that I'm cool with. People know me. No, I'm loyal. I'll fight with you and everything if it comes down to it. That's how loyal I am. I don't play when it comes to loyalty. But unfortunately, we got friends and cousins and stuff who just don't fall into that same thing. Either they weren't raised that way or that's just how it is. So you got some good loyalty with some people and you got some bad loyalty with other people. That's just how it is. Ida said people are not willing to commit nowadays. What you got to say, Sharif?
I want to say.
I was saying, support other people too. Support other people. I mean, other people they're in band or whatever they have kids or something. To go and support. That's big too. And they, in fact, they will support you too. Well, not all of them. not everybody, but don't take it personal if they don't support you.
Yeah, Ashley said it's no business beef. It's people that hold Chick-fil-A to this standard, and it's not fair. And Jackie said, how can you regain loyalty? Jackie Lee Reed said, how can you regain loyalty? Let's jump on that. Sharif, how can you regain loyalty?
Again.
How it's at the bottom of the screen. Read it at the bottom of the screen.
Regain loyalty. Well, I think that some people gain it back. They have to learn how to forgive. You know, the people out there that I really can't explain it because it's different now.
Me personally, if loyalty and trust is broken, that is something that is very, very, I don't care who, family members, it's very hard to get that back. There's some things that can't be repaired depending on how, what the situation may be, right? I mean, but to break a trust or break loyalty, that's a major no-no in my book.
Those two things go hand in hand as well.
We got
loyalty
Cherie
and trust.
Bogan. We got Cherie Bogan in here saying loyalty is like common sense. It's not common anymore. I've been married for 10 plus years and he just up and left with no explanation. Where is the loyalty in that? There is none.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear about that.
I'd say common sense was never really common. I think common sense was always extraordinary sensibility. It was just in more people. When we were younger, there was more people that actually had it because our grandparents were alive. So I think it was more spread that they had extensive sensibility. And it would just call it because it was amongst a lot of us. I just think that same training and that protocol has been broken so much that people don't exercise that trait anymore. But still, that was just jokes. I don't even eat Chick-fil-A, but I will say that their service is impeccable. Whenever I go for my queen, you know, I don't even eat it. Yeah, but they do have great customer service. But you know, it was jokes. I wasn't saying y'all was beefing. Everybody should be held to a standard. If you're gonna pay into it, they should be doing it right. I just think that too. As far as repairing loyalty or regaining it, I think loyalty and trust, heartbreak, I think all those things are kind of like a major injury. You know, there's possibility to go in and do some repair, but it'll never be the same as it was before.
Yeah.
I always think it'll be. And sometimes you don't even get the opportunity to repair it.
Nope. and again, like you know, the willingness to begin again is what needs to be done to regain loyalty. But that has to be on both parties. The person that's been hurt, or the person that the trust or the loyalty has been broken by. I guess it's all on them, right? But then we'll get into you get into the aspect of you know, morals and religious beliefs. Turn the other cheek. How many times should I forgive my brother? 70 times 70. I think the scripture says.
Yeah.
That's some really, that's hard for people to do. That's really hard for people to do, and to start over.
A lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. That's why.
I'm gonna say, I think the highlight on that point that you just said of it's a two-sided thing, and it requires a certain level of, you know, everybody to kind of work together on whatever the case may be. Because I mean, in certain situations, it's just like, you know, if you hurt somebody or whatever situation may be, you know, loyalty along with trust may just be lost, and then it's just like it's really nothing else that you can do. But I guess to, you know, better answer the question, how you regain loyalty, it's really just a journey, you know, kind of like how it was, however it was that you had the loyalty and the trust in the first place. I mean, you know, most everybody isn't necessarily going to walk around and just necessarily give, you know, trust and loyalty out openly and stuff like that. So it's something that you probably accrued or work towards over time and things like that. And so, just that same journey, just, and obviously for whatever was done wrongly or, just whatever, depending on the situation, it's just a journey and it just requires work. So I guess the answer to the question is work on both sides, just work. You got to work.
Well, we got Julianne Harden said, willingness to begin again is what needs to be done to regain loyalty. Cherie with another comment said, loyalty and trust go hand in hand. Once it's broken, it's pretty much a wrap in her eyes. There is no repairing. And Jackie saying, yeah, it is extremely, extremely hard to repair it. Also, we got London Brown in here. She said, loyalty is very hard to regain because I have a hard time trusting people and there's no need to regain it. So, all right, we've been strolling on this topic for a minute. We're going to go on to the next topic because we could go all night with loyalty and marriage. We almost went through the whole show with marriage.
Those two go hand in hand, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, they sure do.
Because you could go down the street on each of those and hand in hand with that.
We wanted them separate so we can talk about them separately. But come on, Troy, let's push it on over to This is a good one here.
So the Taliban takes back control of Afghanistan. This is all over the news. We've been talking about it. When we first talked about it, I was like, okay, well, do we really need to talk about this? I was like, yeah, good subject, right? So let's just get into a little bit of facts, right? It's been going on for 20 years, just ended. During those 20 years, 2,448 American service members have been killed. $2 trillion tax dollars have been allocated towards the war. And the reason we went over there in the first place was because of 9/11, right? 9/11, we wanted to get the perpetrators that performed 9/11, and they were being harbored by Afghanistan. So we went in and wanted to get them so they could pay for the close to 2,000 deaths that happened on September 11th. And we were going after Osama bin Laden. Do we really care as Americans about this situation, or is this being force-fed to us from the media? Personally, this is just my personal belief. I think we should have got out when we got the perpetrators of 9/11. We shouldn't have stayed. Should have just got out. It's a lot of tax dollars. What were those statistics you had, Drummer, about the tax dollars? What we could have achieved with this $2 trillion?
Let me find it.
I know one of them. We could have fed a whole lot of homeless people.
Man, a whole lot of homeless people. You are right about that. Okay, wait, let me find it. Okay, here it is. Okay, the numbers are: Afghan war has cost American taxpayers $2 trillion. Okay, so $2 trillion equals in homelessness 20 billion, insulin for diabetes 40 billion, universal pre-K 60 billion, SNAP for 40 million Americans 80 billion, universal 4-year college 80 billion, I read it twice. Cancel all medical debt 140 billion, and cancel all student debt 1.6 trillion. That equals $2 trillion spent on the war.
I think they probably could have included healthcare in there as well. Gotten more people, Medicare and stuff like that.
Cancel all medical debt.
That was one of them. Yeah, it was canceled medical debt. Yeah, I just Daryl says excuse to occupy Afghanistan. I think that's another reason why once we got there and we got our boots on the ground, all of a sudden it went from finding the people that did 9/11 to reconstruction, right? So I was reading that in this reconstruction process, you've got over 3,342 government contractors doing things from building roads, setting up IT, training people to fight the Taliban. There was a lot of money involved. It's kind of like the same thing they did in Iraq. They just blew it to hell and tried to rebuild it.
Right.
So does it? It's a shame what's happening to the people over there in Afghanistan. Those who want their freedom, but we can't force our way of life on other people. It just doesn't work. That's not the way that they work in Afghanistan. This is part of their religion. It's part of the way they were upraised. They're brought up that way. And I'm a firm believer. Some societies need dictatorship. That might sound really bad, but democracy just doesn't work there. I mean, the United States has tried to implement democracy in some places, and it just hasn't taken hold. Just based on their beliefs and their beliefs. I mean, we're saying that things that happen over here would look really strange to them. Like, for example, the women over there have to be completely masked, and that looks strange to us. But they come over here and they see women half naked on billboards. That's strange to them. So
and able to drive and go to work and leave freely and get be the head of the household as far as getting a job and having all of these rights, being able to vote. Having their voices heard more over here than they are over there. So, that's something else as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got Justin Jaden say they didn't take it back. They worked out a deal and our government, good one, handed it back to them. I believe that. They just didn't figure that they was going to snatch it up and do what they did that fast. I think they set a deal. Everything is, in my opinion, everything the U.S. do is about money. So somebody also said the taxpayers wrote those checks, but who cashed them?
That's those 3,342 government contracts, that were out there. That's who cashed our checks.
Yeah.
And again, it's just, it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible.
It's insane how they utilize taxpayer money and what they decide to do with it compared to what they could be doing with it. Because you would think that being a taxpayer, that the money that you're paying in taxes is gonna help somebody in this. Well, I say in this country. I mean, not to be selfish in that sense, but we have so many problems within this country, and we're not even. I mean, obviously, 20 years ago, or 15 rather. They had it, but Flint still doesn't have clean water. You got homelessness, what it is. You have, people going hungry within this country, people struggling to pay their medical bills and struggling for insulin and struggling to have medication and just all these things. And it's like, we do something as big as spend $2 trillion on that. Like, and what I think about when you just said $2 trillion is that last year when they, all this pandemic stuff happened, the bill that they signed for us to get those stimulus checks was for $2 billion. And seeing how they utilized that money, and I mean, for the most part, it kind of went back and helped some people. Obviously, some people took advantage of that. But, even seeing the different things that they've implemented over the last year, I mean, obviously, they could have done more. But still, that's just seeing how big that $2 trillion, is. And then, even all those numbers that you were giving out, about the different utilization that they could have had for the money. I think back to the stimulus, like constantly of like, okay, they just signed that $2 trillion bill for infrastructure and, for the stimulus, and only about 500 million of it went to the actual stimulus itself. Right. And so it's just like, other government programs definitely could have, been implemented to help more people within this country.
Troy, read the 3 questions we got. I'm tired of reading. Daryl Spain is the first one. It's your turn.
Let's see.
Spain said the Bible says there will never be peace in the Middle East. Take the next one.
You're correct. We grew up with democracy. It's what we know. In foreign lands, the concept doesn't make sense. They don't have the same thought integrated into them from birth. And I mean, that's what we were kind of saying. Breon, who has been in the military for the latter part of his life, Marines and Army, says they think we should have helped to establish a free territory in part of Afghanistan to those who didn't want to live under Taliban rule. So I think that's a logistics thing where he's speaking military on a on an idiot box basis. So he's saying that we set up a free territory. Inside that free territory, that's the free zone. Let the Taliban have everything else. Would that work? Might have, could have, who knows?
I have a really big question. And I don't necessarily know if what the statistics are, like if this is even true, but I'm hearing so much about what we're doing. What are all these other countries doing, and why are we the biggest one to try to jump in everybody else's mess? And why is no other country that's doing it at the scale that we're doing it? To where we spent out $2 trillion. I mean, I'm not necessarily sure if other countries that sent out soldiers or hired contractors, or if they spent out as much money as us, but it just seems like we're the one that's pitching in on somebody else's mess, and then the rest of the world is kind of looking at us like,
I'm going to tell you
what
this.
y'all doing that for?
We're a war country.
Yeah,
that's why. We're industrialized war country.
Which is why we spend so much on the military every year.
It's just a fact. America's been at war for forever. It's just. And who's this down here? Miss Wooden says
that's
we're bullies.
That's Grant's mom.
Oh, Grant, your mom says something here.
Because U.S. are bullies. Other countries minding their business. What I said earlier was the U.S. is the Karens, the real Karens and the Kens, always in somebody else's business.
Yeah.
Well, but also too, guys.
Daryl says here that we wouldn't go unless we could gain from it. Now I think that's true. I mean, there's assets over there in Afghanistan that we could procure once we were there. I mean, oil. Not only that, they're number one or one of the top producers of poppy, which is a plant that creates cocaine. So there's a lot of natural resources over there that we could gain from. The same reason we went to Iraq. It wasn't to liberate the Iraqi people. It was to secure oil prices. And I'm saying that in my opinion. Other people might get upset with that, but it wasn't for to establish democracy. Hell, we don't even like democracy in our own country. Look what just happened. We don't even like democracy here. They stormed the Capitol because their guy didn't win. Right? It looks a lot like Afghanistan that day.
What the Taliban just did. Exactly.
Yeah. And even today, I heard somebody had rode up to the Capitol and said that they had a bomb in their pickup truck for a joke because they didn't like Joe Biden. Something along the lines of that. It was something that was reported earlier today in the news that it was a bomb threat by the Capitol again.
Yeah. Wow. It's just sad. I mean, if you go back though, this was all created by the United States. Osama bin Laden, when we were having a Cold War against Russia, we were in a Cold War against Russia. We funded Osama bin Laden and the Taliban. We funded them. We gave them weapons.
He was our buddy.
Trained them.
We trained them, everything. We did everything for them. And again, here we go again, shutting out major resources for, I would say, that it wasn't a very moral gain. It was a Cold War. We didn't want to get into war with Russia. Russia didn't want to get into war with us. They were at war with Afghanistan. Hey, let's give Afghanistan guns and training. It's a terrible thing. So Dice popped out. Now he's popped back in. Let's see what
we got on here. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Okay. Our Ryan said, with regards to the countries who harbor terrorists, we need to have enough of a presence for intelligence gathering so that a 9/11 doesn't happen again. We don't need to be in the business of nation building. I totally agree with that one.
Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier, Drummer. We were like, hey, take that money and put it into anti-terrorist task force instead of going to another country. So we don't have to worry about that. And we talked about it earlier. Are you worried about a Taliban coming to your door and shooting you in the face?
No, I'm not worried about the police. I'm worried about the police.
Yeah, I mean, domestic terrorism.
Come in your house, all of that.
They do whatever they want to.
So since the Afghan war, we'll go to like 2012. We had the Wisconsin Sikh temple shooting, the Boston Marathon bombing 2013, the cartoon drawing contest shooting where they drew, I think, Muhammad in a cruel light. There was a murder because behind that in 2015, Charleston church shooting 2015, San Bernardino shooting 2015, Orlando nightclub shooting 2016. These are your neighbors. These aren't Taliban. These are the people who live right next door to you. You know, Charleston car attack. If you guys remember Charleston, when the guy got in the car and ran over the lady and killed her.
Oh yeah,
Pittsburgh,
yeah.
the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting in 2018.
Can't
I mean,
forget
these
about
are
the
all.
school shootings as well.
Oh yeah, these are listed as domestic. These are just the domestic terrorism as listed.
Gotcha.
Now the shootings. Now the mass shootings. You got Boulder, El Paso, Virginia Beach. I mean, you go on and on. 2018, Sherman Douglas, Thousand Oaks, Pittsburgh synagogue. Las Vegas shooting when the guy got in the hotel and started picking
Yep.
off people from the building. You know, San Bernardino attack, the Washington Navy Yard shooting. Could go on and on. Sandy Hook. It just goes on. Those are mass shootings, and those were only in the past 10 years, and there's still a whole list of them that I haven't gone off. And those are domestic terrorism. That's it, but they list them as mass shootings. But I'm not worried about the Taliban. I'm really not. I'm not worried about Muslim radicals. I've got some Muslim brothers that I love to death, and our beliefs, the beliefs that I have and their beliefs aren't too far off if you really get down to the core of it.
Not at all.
And then get down to the core of the belief of the Christian, the Muslim, the Jew. I mean, you all are saying the same damn thing, but you got a different
Just in
messenger.
different forms. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have a different messenger. So my brothers out there, believe me, I've got a lot of Muslim friends, a lot of Muslim brothers. I wholeheartedly love them just as much as I do my Christian brothers.
For sure.
Yeah, got some input on that, Dice?
As far as Afghanistan itself, I just feel like, like most things we get involved in, it's about exploitation. It's exploiting, like I said, the resources in the region that normally we would be cut off from. And any reason to get into that reason has always been why we ended up going and occupy, have time to see what all we can get our hands on, what we can connect with, and then we get it up out of there. Our export goes way up. We don't have to worry about the taxation, the tariffs and whatnot, when we can just go grab it. Well, I say we, but I don't mean we. I mean the institution that occupies these regions. You know what I'm saying? And because the resources rarely trickle down to where we're at.
Yeah, and I find it. I find it extremely strange that we go after Afghanistan. Some of these regions that aren't developed, but yet Saudi Arabia goes untouched. And
that's because their defenses is too tough.
Yeah, they're scared to mess with them.
Yeah, you got Saudi Arabia. Even 9/11, the majority of those people that were in the planes were Saudis. They weren't Afghans. They were Saudis. Bin Laden was a Saudi. They just were they able to stay in Afghanistan. It's just a lot of it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it's a slippery slope because at one point we financed and supported the Taliban. So I mean,
sure did.
It's not hard for me to think that we brokered the deal now, because at one point they were considered an ally when we had a different enemy. So
it's a lot of it that they were able to. Same thing that happened with Manuel Noriega. Come on now. I mean, there was exploiting the Panama Canal. We wanted to get the tax tariffs from the Panama Canal, so we invaded them. And then all of a sudden, Manuel Noriega was a bad guy.
Now he's the villain.
So now he's the villain, but you guys put him into power, and it's just. Go ahead.
I mean, let's just say it like this: Bin Laden became public enemy number one. His entire family was living in New York. The only plane flying the day that everybody else got grounded had his family on it, where they was getting them back to safety in Saudi. So we had been cool with the Bin Ladens. That was one of the things where then they, had to pick him as the dark horse of that family, but he still got crazy family in the States. So, you know, that part of it, man, we know what that is. Those deals are brokered without any of us seeing any of that. That's backroom stuff.
Yeah. Well, we like to keep it at us. We like to try to keep it at an hour. We're going to go, we're going to get longer and probably do more shows. But we're coming to the end of this episode. We thank everybody for joining on.
Yes, we do.
Drummer, you got any last words? Did we miss anybody out there?
Let me see any more. Okay, so we got Art Ryan says, for me, most important thing moving forward, we the American populace can't allow the leaders to talk us into these type of wars again. We didn't learn from Vietnam. Hopefully we do this time. And also Daryl Spain said natural gas.
If you think about it.
Daryl Spain said natural gas pipeline had to go through Afghanistan.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Every time we go take over something, every time we go somewhere, we go to take it over, or it's something about some money.
It's exploitation.
That's all they care about.
That's what we do.
And we had a lot of people commenting tonight. We really appreciate the support. And if you guys can't figure it out, message us. We'd like to have you on the show. We'd like to see your faces. We'd like to hear your points of view. I could be wrong. Drummer could be wrong. There could be another point of view out there that could explain some of these things. So you guys, please check out those links to get in the green room. We'll get you on the show. And we want to hear those different opinions, because that's what this is all about.
This is what it's all about.
And again, I thank everybody.
It's not about listening to us. It's about coming on in on your video where we can put you out there and you can talk and give your opinion. But hey, the comments on the side, we'll take the comments.
Said you don't want to see this.
We'll take the comment. Who said that? What happened? What happened? What did I miss?
Well, down below.
Ryan says you don't want to see this.
He's talking about you don't want his face on the camera. Like you don't want to see his face on the camera.
Come on in, Art. We want to see your face. What you talking about? Thank you, Marche Brown. She said, great show. Good night, everyone. Ida. London Brown said, great job. Art Ryan said, great job, you all. And Ashley said, you are so very welcome. We sure appreciate you joining in. Incredible Black Platform Gentlemen, says Daryl Spain. Thank you, Daryl. We appreciate you coming in and your comments and just sitting back and joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Daryl. Thanks, Daryl. We need you on next time. I tell you what, we need to get into a religious discussion.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think might be something there. I mean,
that's going to take an hour by itself.
That's going to take 2 hours.
I guess the topic will be: is the modern day church doing what it's supposed to be?
Oh, that'd be a good one.
That's a good one.
Good Lord.
Art Ryan said Troy
that might be kind of short.
Peace, Art Ryan. Thank you for joining in. Justin Jaden, thank you, cuz, for joining in. Let's see. Okay, Daryl Spain said thank you too. That would be great, Art. Oh, we got Ramon Dooley, whatever that means. Nope.
I think he's talking about the subject matter about the church.
There's the show. That's the show. And that's the show.
That'll be the
I
whole
told you
show.
it'll be short, and that's the show. And there's the show right there. So next topic. Let's go to the next topic.
Right.
That one was short, Troy.
Yeah, it was real short.
Real short.
Man,
Yeah, it was.
Well, we love y'all and thank you for supporting. Thank you for being on. And again, we definitely want to hear from every voice out there.
Next Thursday, we'll see y'all
Peace
next
and
Thursday.
some hot grease.
All right.
Hey nephew, Grant. Hey, I
Yes,
didn't
sir.
get to
Yes,
tell you
sir.
last time, nephew. I'm very proud of you, man. I salute your
Oh, for
efforts.
sure. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Molded it. You know,
Good job,
I put
Grant,
a little
young
fingers
boy.
on the clay, so
Doing
I'm
your
glad.
thing.
Oh,
to see
yeah.
it.
Yeah, for
What
sure.
the statue look like.
For sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
All right,
that.
young
It's all
brother.
love.
All right.
No doubt.
We're in a lot of trouble because less than 3% of you people read books. Listen to me. Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We'll tell you anything you want to hear. We lie like hell. We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. You're beginning to believe the illusions. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are